Welcome to the sfhappio show, where you get to know apps that actually really solve your Salesforce problems. Finally, sfhappio, Salesforce apps for a happy Salesforce.
Welcome, Peter, to the sfhappio show, where we present cool apps that make Salesforce happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the show, where you present today the duplicate check, right?
Correct.
Great. So before we dive into the demo, I'd like you to provide some background information on your company, Plauti, and also on your role at Plauti.
Yeah, sure. Well, thanks for having me, or us on the show. My name is Peter, and our company is called Plauti. My role, I'm commercially responsible for the two apps, and the company, we're solely focused on native Salesforce apps, so completely built apps in Salesforce that makes life easy. So one of our missions is to create data happiness among Salesforce users, and we do that by providing two apps. Duplicate check for Salesforce allows you to find and to clean duplicates and prevent them, and then record validation allows you to validate email, phones, and addresses, and seamlessly integrated in Salesforce. So that's what we do. So we're on a mission to provide data happiness in Salesforce. So that was very cool that you have wanted to interview us.
Yeah, sure. I read a lot of great reviews, so you have many happy customers. And you are located in the Netherlands?
Yeah, correct.
Do you do also the development in-house, or do you have another like development center or?
No, we do everything. Yes, we are based in the Netherlands, and we do everything from the Netherlands. So we have a complete team.
I see.
Close to 15 now, 13, 15 people. I lost count. And we develop all in-house. So everything are only totally focused on Salesforce. So native to Salesforce. And we've done so since 2011. So we're having our 10th university being an ISV this year, end of year.
Congratulations to that.
Yeah. But so that's very cool. And what we see, it's a very organic growth we have. So we're in the market since 10 years. I entered this company 4.5 years ago. I have a background in analytics and research, so handling data and working with data. But I always came across the challenge that garbage in is garbage out. And when I came across this app, which was really 5 years ago, then I thought, wow, this is golden. So there's no company who doesn't have challenges with data, and it's always made difficult or difficult to clean. And Stan, the founding father of the company, made that so easy. To solve and address the problem of duplicates and validation, that I thought I need to enter this company. So I did 5 years ago, and we're growing fast pace. So typical clients we have, well, one thing they have in common, they use Salesforce. There's no company who doesn't have challenges with duplicates. But typically we see people enter when they start moving to Salesforce. They have a data migration, or people start moving away using Salesforce because the data is so dirty. Then they really have to look for solutions. And often, and that's what we see, Salesforce provides a standard functionality, which is great because that makes them aware there's a solution, but they run into the limitations like exact matching, not the ability to do mass merging, not having fuzzy logics and not picking up all blocking, etc. So then they move and they start exploring, and they end up with us. So it's a good thing. So we have a natural growth, people seeking, word of mouth, a lot of positive reviews.
Okay. So can you just briefly again, explain the typical scenario where the duplicate check would come into play? I mean, what's the exact problem do they have? Is it duplicate data? Is it garbage, as you mentioned it? What exactly is the problem that is addressed here?
The exact problem is, well, the ultimate problem is that people in the organization recognize they have a challenge caused by duplicates. And that's often because they don't trust the data anymore. They don't have a single customer view. Their marketing automation sends out messages multiple times. So they have miscommunication. So that's often when there are signals in the organization that there should be something done. So there's nobody who doesn't have duplicates across or any object.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but then we made it easy. Yeah, but then you can have them, but if you don't, I don't care about them, then you don't start exploring. What are the options? So you need to recognize that there is a challenge, or costing them money, or reputational or whatever. Then what we solve typically is to clean up and to prohibit that it starts again. So you can set prevention on each entry point, whether this is on integrations, on bulk uploads, on flow actions, anywhere. And we do that without interfering or interrupting that automated processes. So that's very smooth, and it's very flexible as well. So you can install the package and it works out of the box, but then you can deploy very easy for an admin only. So you don't need IT or a long process to deploy. It's just there. But if you'd like to customize it, it's there. Then there's Apex plugins, Apex APIs, REST APIs, etc. So it's also highly flexible. So that's why we can serve the smallest nonprofit to the largest enterprise and everything in between.
So I heard there are flow actions.
Also,
that excites me. And so basically it can be configured by admins, right? It's native, so that you don't need an external database or anything like this. You can do it all in the system.
Yes, correct.
And it can be addressed via APIs as well.
Yes. Yeah, so by default, it just works in Salesforce. If you'd like to customize logic or so there's so many user cases that Salesforce itself is not only not the single tool for a lot of companies. So they have ERP systems or other systems, and sometimes you need to feed those systems on what record have been merged and tell the other system. So that's where an API comes in, or the other way around. And then, of course, records that come in via API, so the feed of marketing automation or from that same ERP, that's out of the box. So we just catch them after that has been created. So we allow all the information to come in and then being merged, or at least detected and shown in an overview. And optionally, you can also automatically merge if you say, okay, this is 100% score, process that fully automated. And if it's a little flaw, a little different, then I want to review it. So it's up to the organization how strict you put it. But I can show you in a couple of minutes.
Yes, exactly. So we heard it's there is automation there, right? To merge in situations where you're sure that there are duplicates, and where you're not sure, how is it displayed? I mean, just before we jump into the demo, Is it a report? Is it a list view? Does it come as a warning?
It's a list view or a duplicate report for the admins, so
Okay.
on a DC job. But for a day-to-day user, there's also a
Mhm.
possibility to show it when they start using a record, so that you could be more and hyper relevant, so that you don't reach out to a listed lead, because we can show right away that it
Mhm.
is an existing customer, for example, or this lead has interest in multiple products, but it came in. So within the object and cross object, we can show right away.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then there is reporting on what has been merged, what has been found. So that's more the analytics part at the system, but it's not at record level.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So I think now we've heard some background
Mm-hmm.
on what problem it solves,
Mm-hmm.
and I would suggest that we now move into the demo part where
Mm-hmm.
you actually show the system. Perhaps you can also show just briefly in Salesforce in which category it belongs, where
Mm-hmm.
usually those duplicates are detected, and then just show on how the duplicate check really expands on this functionality.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I will. I will start sharing my screen,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll do so here. So Salesforce, out of the box prevention, works on standard objects. So I just have Salesforce open, and we're an app. So when you install the app, which can be found in the app exchange, then you can open the app here in the selection. So you have just your apps here. For the ease of my use, I opened the app, but prevention, of course, works also if you are on the Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, or whatever cloud you're in.
Yeah.
It works within any object and cross object. So if you have person accounts or you want to work on opportunities or cases, that works. So any object supports. My demo is based on leads, but fire away.
And just to clarify this, it also works on custom objects.
Yes. So let me address that by going to the setup.
Yeah.
So the setup, that's DC home. And I would say, so there's rights you can give to certain users. This I would give access to admin only. But setup, that is the heart of the system. And out of the box, account, contacts, and leads are supported
Mm-hmm.
and activated upon installing, but you can add any object. So if you click on this, all your objects will be there, and then you can start configuring. So if whether it's cases, assets, and any object you'd like to work on, or person accounts. That in the object, so now I click on leads, then you can configure, so how to determine what is a duplicate. That is scenarios. You can select fields you want to see in the overview. So what fields are returned, and you can select a merge logic. So what should be the master record when I merge? So that's simply selecting a general rule, make that fine, and change that per specified field if you'd like to. And this is also where often a bit of Apex code is used, moving away a bit from the admin, but more for the techies. So you can create your own logic and say, okay, keep all the emails while merging, or concatenate values, stuff like that. So
I see.
That's for with Apex plugins possible.
For example, what to do with related lists, where
Oh,
to attach them or to keep
that
them or not.
that's interesting one that you address that one. So upon a merge, it
Mm-hmm.
will keep the fields and the master based on this rule. So
Yes.
So it will keep those fields. Empty fields will be loser fields. So after a merge,
Mm-hmm.
fields are richer always, but everything that is related to all the objects, to all the records, will be reparented to the master. So all the opportunities, cases, whatever is related to all the records after a merge, they're all connected to the master record. So that's merge logic, and then you can predefine filters, but you can create them on the fly as well. And then the very powerful stuff is once you create scenarios, you can fully automate that system, which I'm going to show you as well later on. So I have on web to lead, but there is automated stuff, integrations, bulk imports, API flow actions, and web leads. I only have web leads within the object, so merging. It also works cross-object, moving a lead into a contact account. But now I say, okay, if there is a very high percentage, let's say 97% and up, those will be processed fully automated. And 97% and up is based on scenarios. And scenarios is here. So a scenario always consists out of one field or more, two fields or more. You can work on standard and custom fields, which is different than standard Salesforce. You have the ability to exclude words to not match on and to select a matching method. So there is exact matching, exact the same, and there is a lot of fuzzies towards different fields. And this is documented. Everything is documented in a field, so you can just open that. Weighting is the relation between fields. You can say certain fields are more important, and then it's a single click to activate that to functionalities. So there's manual entry and update. There's conversion, check, it's a button, live, it's an element. I will show you this in just a second. That provides a single customer view while working on the record. Cleaning up existing database, prevention on bulk, on integrations, web leads, flow actions, well, rare cases, and then the combination with record validation. On the automated processes, we never block. So we allow the records to come in, all the information comes in, and then scanned against this scenario. Now, in this example, I tell the system, I want to see those that have 70% matching up. And in addition, if there is 97%, 96%, I don't know, and I want to process that fully automated. So this is just a single click to activate it on a functionality, and you can create multiple scenarios and apply them too. There is analytics. So everything that happens is tracked here in audit logging. So now I said, okay, there is a bulk upload, and my demo is boring. It's only me. But it keeps track of who did what. But then on the analytics part, it keeps track of, okay, per job, how many records have been processed, have been found on bulk import and API and web leads, manual entries. So that is just keeping track on the period you select. So that is for the admin, I would say, the cockpit to determine things. Then the story for the day-to-day user. So when you open a list view, then you have your, I don't know, leads of the day. So then you could say, hey, these are dupes. I see them, so I can just merge here with this button. So that leads you to a manual merge page. So that is just a gimmick, but it's nice to have. When you open a record, a user always assumes this is my single point of truth. This is my, maybe Salesforce itself provides here with a yellow bar, maybe a duplicate found and a strict rule, but it will probably say, okay, there's one duplicate found.
Right.
But we have this element called DC Live. You can just add that to the page layout. That provides a single customer view, although it's not cleaned yet. So it's within this object, it says, okay, what are the matching score? You can flag it here and merge, or flag it as a false positive if such. And you can also see, okay, this is actually an existing customer. So you can convert that right away. But for a day-to-day user, you can say, okay, I'm going to merge this. This leads you to a manual merge page. This shows those fields that have different value based on that merge logic. It selects the master and the field, but it can still mix and match very easily or make manual changes here. And I'm going to update. any field could be added, but by default it shows those fields that have different values. Then I can merge right away and I can continue. This takes just a couple of seconds for a data user, helping the admin, or actually, in my opinion, those who work on data are responsible for the clients, are also responsible for their data. So we made that very easy here. Let's say there are organizations that still create records manually or update records. I see more and more. So while I'm typing information, it does the math right away. So it checks based on the provided information if there is, so it's not creating a whole record and hit save and get the frustration that you're not allowed to. This is just helping a user. And it says, okay, this is actually...
That's extremely helpful.
This is the person. I just open it. So saving me, well, let's say 5 minutes time to create a record. Then our other app, record validation, comes. This is where the apps come together. So this is just providing them, and then say, okay, this is the company, etc. And then the matching score. So if it's below 70, it will drop out of this view. But then the other app just formats and validates. So when I fill in a phone, and as you told in the beginning, I'm based in the Netherlands, so I made that my default country, the Netherlands. So it's, and when I make this complete, and it provides, if it's a mobile, a toll-free number, a landline, and it formats it in a predefined set, I set that to an international code. And that works on standard fields, custom fields, whatever.
Sorry to interrupt, is this part of the duplicate check?
No, this is part of record validation. So there's duplicate check to find if there is duplicates, and a record validation is to check whether email, phones, and addresses are existing, or is it formatted in the right way, and if they actually exist. So when I fill in a phone here or an email, then it will check if the email is correct or not. And then, well, now it says, okay, Gmail exists, but it's verified as a bounce, so invalid. When I make this complete, and it just says, okay, it's a free domain, so you didn't know, but you just provide that information for free. Gmail is free. Any email is actively used by me in this case. So that is, so you can do that upon manual entry and update, also flow actions, and on existing database as well. So you can run it on existing database. So your marketing automation, you pay for your marketing automation based on the number of emails you send to the system, and it should move. So if it should send out. So if you have a clean update of your records that are actively sent or actively used, then you could save money as well on your marketing automation tool, because you have to send only the relevant emails. And then addresses, any address in the world is supported. So while typing, it could allow suggestion, and then you can say, okay, this is the suggestion, or you could say, I'm going to validate this, and then it auto completes it to the fields you mapped. So that's just saving tons of time. And when you save, then the circle is back. The record says, okay, based on all the additional information, it's not a duplicate anymore, but on this information, this is set right, green, and this has been changed by me. So I'm going to validate this again and say, okay, actually, yeah, now it's good. And then that will turn green as well. So that's the experience for the day-to-day user. Now, I explained to you the setup, but the admin, everything that comes in an automated way ends up in a page we call DC job. It's a batch page. So when someone in the organization uploaded data, whatever tooling they are using, it just ends up in the job, and it provides results, if it found results, within the object and also cross object. So this is how results are presented.
Just to understand, so for example, this lead to account, if you could open that up again. So this is a report on a merge, or?
No, this is a report on possible duplicates that are found. So in this case, there was this combination, only 72%, so it's not very likely. But then you could say, okay, what are combinations? So there is a lead against an account that are pretty similar. So are they really similar here? So it's Veles Nula Corporation, Veles Nula. So they're based on my scenario, and now it shows there is a possible dupe, a cross object. So it works within the object and also cross object. Now we're native to Salesforce. So when this happens, so the job just presents the results automatically. You could notify yourself using a workflow. So just send a ping so you don't have to go there. There's another option, because we have a lot of high-end customers. They have millions and millions of records turning around their org every day. So then you might end up with a lot of jobs. So there is the overall job results that combines all the duplicates found in a certain object or a certain cross object. And this is also available as a component, because then when you move to have data stewards on certain regions, and I have that on my homepage, you can say, okay, show me only those dupes found on a certain object or cross object on a certain region. So now I believe they don't have any Indonesian data anymore, but then it will not show it because there's no Indonesian data at this point. But this is just helping them. So this is just my homepage, but it's just a component you can drag and drop and then add that to your day-to-day dashboard.
Right. So immediately when you log into the system, you can see
it.
What important duplicates were found.
Yeah, and then from that you can clean as well from that component. And when you run a job on the existing database, so that's add a job, you give it a name. And then you can say, okay, I'm gonna have that lead against any other object I've mapped, but most sense is to have the lead against contact account, which comes out of the box. Then you select the object or the scenario you activated. Prior to that, you could filter on a subset of your data. Any field is supported, standard and custom with the and or principle. You can select and you can schedule jobs at the frequency you like, and you can choose to auto merge those at a certain matching percentage. Now, Start uses processing power of Salesforce Cloud. If you just run a job once and you have a significant amount of records, use local. That's way quicker. It's an app you can install. You need to log in with your Salesforce credentials, and then it uses processing power of your local machine. I use Start with only 50 or 60 records. Then results are presented in the follow order it found it. So you can go into results, simply export. You can open them and filter. For instance, say the obvious ones on top. Share this in the organization, so it shares the links of this to this page, and you can open them at once or one by one. So this is how duplicates are shown in the system. The fields you see you can amend, and then you can simply say, okay, what are combinations found in the group? Merge, manual merge page, quick merge following the merge logic, or flag it as a false positive. But at least it shows now users right away, okay, these are dupes for the admin. Share it with a person. So you can do that one by one, but that's what Salesforce also could do. Standard Salesforce can do 3 at a time. So we don't have that limits. So you could, I hope not for you, but if there's 1,000 Irma's Geminas, it's one click and they're merged. It takes a bit of time, but it's you don't have to.
Absolutely, and we have this scenario.
Yeah. So this is what you can do here for the one by ones. And if you're confident at a certain matching percentage, you can do the mass merge, and that's really to speed up a process. So then you could say, I reviewed them and I'm going to auto merge or cross object auto convert. So then it just follows all the settings. and I could say, okay, 100%, or in my case, 95 and up, I'm good to do a mass merge, and the rest I like to review or share in the organization.
Very interesting.
So normally
So
people,
that way
yeah.
you could mass merge wherever you're very confident that there are duplicates, right?
Yeah.
And whenever you're below that threshold, you can then in a second step check the potential duplicates.
Yeah, indeed. And then the last thing, so because on the automated, so you have this guy who likes to have free tea bags.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he makes him happy if he gets free tea. So when he fills in,
I love black British tea.
So when this is in, so then it comes in as a lead, because then I have this
right.
lead, and it's just in here, and he has just one action. But this guy, yeah, he thinks, oh, well, 50 tea bags. It takes me 1 day to consume that, so I'd like to have a second run. So I'll just make a change, and they never catch me.
No, because I want that second example.
Yeah. So that's it. So then I just make one change, or and then I fill in this form twice. So normally, what you will see is that this record comes in twice here, as you can see now. So there is, but for the day-to-day user, this is very quickly. So now it says, okay, I was too quick, so it was merged right away. Because what happened here, he only gets one free 50 tea bags, because what happened, the record got created here. Then it was found again. So this is standard Salesforce with the lead history, and it got merged fully automated. So you can see that as well here in the audit logging, because that keeps track of it. So that record came in the first time that this Pascal was found, and then it filled in another time. And what happened here, it was directly processed because it hit the score of 97, 96% and higher. So it was processed fully automated. And so then you don't create duplicates. So you prevent the duplicates, you allow the new information to come in, and it follows the merge logic. So when I open that record, you see the second time, I believe the newest created record was the one that is good. So it was updated to the newest record. So that was my merge logic. And that was just
amazing,
happening automated. In our org, I believe we catch 90% of our duplicates fully automated. And that saves tons of time.
Yeah, that makes sense, sure.
Yeah, so that's what we have. And then with that, we serve very complex organization and very small nonprofits. So that's also, if you'd like to move, and everybody's free to test it. So we have a freemium model. So you can,
yes, please elaborate on your model. Sure.
Yeah. So we have a tremendous knowledge base, support.duplicatecheck.com, and everything is just documented on how-tos on our website. So that's the easiest step to go through. On the top, we have Get It Now that leads you to our listing. So first read the 200 plus reviews, very important before you start installing. No, it's there. And I have the very basic free model version, which can do more than standard Salesforce already. To get the full functionality, you can start a trial for 10 days. After the trial, you automatically return to the basics, but at least you can experience. The package always comes with free support. So this leads to the manual, to the knowledge page, but the package comes with free support. So we have a free support desk everywhere to help you around. And then commercially, our pricing is based on the number of records and the version. So we have a higher version and a lower, but it's about volume. So a smaller organization with less data pays less than the larger organizations. And then for nonprofits and universities, there's a discount as well.
Interesting.
So that
the website is duplicatecheck.com.
Duplicatecheck.com. Yeah, we couldn't make it more difficult than that. So that is, and then you can take a tour, but it's easier, and it's very easy to create, to install, and just start playing around. And you can always plan a demo with one of us. So that's what we do.
Great. So there is the website duplicatecheck.com.
Yeah.
Where could people register for a demo, perhaps to just see how it matches their orgs? Is that via contact or via support?
I believe it was here. The plan for a demo, get support, become a partner. We also have those. So we don't, and that's maybe interesting to know as well. So we are focused on making the best product out there, and people embrace that. We're not focused on customizing things. So we're a license-based company and not an hour-based company. So we have a complete ecosystem of consultants who see the value on bringing speed in the market, so to speed to solve these challenges, and they can make their hours on that. There's a lot of consultants working with Duplicate Check or Record Validation.
Yeah.
But,
great.
So
great, Peter. That was an impressive demo of a very cool app. Thank you so much. So we've seen standard objects, we've seen cross objects, we've seen custom objects, right? And both in the duplicates can be found manually and also in an automated way, which is super helpful.
And it just popped in my mind because that's, so you asked me, okay, what are typical clients? Well, across the board, there is from the smallest to the longest, but we see an increasing number of financial companies, healthcare companies, and governmental organizations because of the way we handle data completely in Salesforce. So it's safe, and a lot of them work with encrypted fields, which we support as well. So it's just very specific, but it's something we came across. So we just happened to work with that, with the encrypted fields. So it doesn't matter. We just we can find that, but maybe it's good to address that as well. Because we see a growing number. Say, okay, I can't find duplicates because we're based. We have encrypted fields.
Yeah,
and that's just one. So here we are.
Great. Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah,
Peter. And thank you also so much for being on the show.
Good.
It was very exciting.
Did it make you happy?
Very. We are very happy. Happio.
Sure.
Thanks for watching the sfhappio Show, where you get to know apps that actually really solve your Salesforce problems. And now, register for the sfhappio newsletter at sfhappio.com/newsletter. That's sfhappio.com/newsletter. And receive all those cool apps you didn't know they existed right into your inbox. sfhappio. Salesforce apps for a happy Salesforce.